Hey there, Stampers. This is Sherry with Stamped Treasures. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Alberta, Canada. And I've got a fun project to share with you, something that is practical, something that you'll be able to use for lots of different things. It's kind of like a little folio that we're going to create out of 12 by 12 pattern paper. And here is one that I've created kind of with a photo theme. And I've got photos that I've printed that kind of need to be either filed away or scrapbooked, or I have projects in mind for them. So you can see that each page has pockets, so you can use it for storage. So these folios can be used for so many different things. The one I'm going to share with you today, I'm actually going to keep with my book journal. To store stickers and page flags and that type of thing. So we're going to do a book themed one. So this one here, like I said, it's photo themed. I don't think I used too much product that is Stampin' Up! It's just product that I dug out of my stash. So I had some fabric that has cameras printed on it. This is old retired gingham Stampin' Up! Ribbon. This is some lace that I picked up at a thrift store. And then some what do you call these? Photo slides or film reels. That's a sticker, kind of like washi tape. And then these are some stamps that I had. There's some clips. There's some little ephemera pieces that I've got in there. And then the paper is just an assortment of paper. I just pulled several different patterns from my stash to use. Anything that was camera related, and some that is not camera related. So that's what I've used on this one. And for the one that I'm going to share with you today, I am going to use some Stampin' Up! Product. I've got a mix of paper packs here. So these two pages here, so this one, and that's the back side, and this one, and that's the back side. Those two paper packs are from the Hobby Haven Specialty Designer Series paper. And that is also where I'm going to get some of the embellishments. So I've pulled out some kind of book themed and some generic themed ephemera pieces from this paper pack as well. It can be found on the Stampin' Up! Website in the online exclusive section of the website. And I will have a full supply list linked below of anything that I can link. And then this pattern paper, there's the back side of that one. And this last one, those two paper pieces or pattern papers are from the Everyday Happiness Designer Series paper. I'm not sure if this is still current or not. I will link it below if it is still current. And then this one here, this is from a new paper pack that is coming out in the January 2026 online exclusives. It's called Lovely Blossoms. So basically what I did was I kind of looked at the colors that are in this paper, and I kind of chose colors that were in here. So you can see you've got kind of like that pool color or Lost Lagoon. There is some yellow. There is some basic beige. There's some Secret Sea, which is on the back side of this. And then this has some more yellow. The yellow isn't exactly the same, but I think it works well because it kind of coordinates with this color here. All right, so I have 5 sheets. You can do more pages. You can do fewer pages. You can just do 2 pages if you want. It's up to you. But I'm going to do 5 pages so that I think I end up with 10 pockets. I think that's what it is. I also pulled out a wide piece of lace from my stash and some fabric that has words on it. It's actually French. They're French words, but I thought because it's got kind of a scripty font on there, I thought that'd be perfect for a book journal theme. You do not have to use fabric. You can use more pattern paper if you want. All right, but you do need 12 by 12 pieces of pattern paper, and you'll want to make sure that they all kind of line up. Now, I got this idea, this inspiration came from Treasure Books. Natasha, I think is her name. She shared something similar, so I took the idea and I kind of tweaked it to make it my own, and pulled out stuff from my stash to use. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and speed this up and I'll talk you through creating it. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to score 3 3/4 from the bottom. You can use any measurement. If you want your pockets to not be as deep as that, then that's fine. You can do 3 inches, you can do 2.5, you could do 4 inches if you want them to be a little bit deeper. You do want to be mindful of the direction of your pattern paper. So I made sure to choose only pattern paper that might have a direction on one side or didn't have a direction. So it didn't matter which way it went. And then when you do that, you want to be mindful of that you're scoring 3 3/4 up from the bottom if it is directional. All right. And then I'm scoring at 6 inches down the middle because we'll fold up the bottom to create the pocket and then we'll fold it in half to create the little booklet. So I'm folding it up. I'm going to use my bone folder to make it nice and crisp. And then I'll fold it in, making sure that those edges, like that top right or top left corner, is lined up nicely, and then scoring it. So that's going to be my back page. I ended up switching that around. And then here, so you can see why you want to do it that way. So I fold up the bottom and then fold in. So you're not going to see the front, the pink part of this DSP apart from the pockets on the inside, because we're going to stick the back of one pocket to the front of the other pocket. You'll see in a minute. All right. So I'm just continuing on with that fold and then putting them kind of in the order that I want them. So I'm starting from the back. The only one where you'll see the outside of the pockets is the front and the back covers. I'm not a huge fan of this particular pattern. I like the inside, but I don't like the outside. All right, so for this one, I want that kind of watercolored look. I want that to be my cover. So that's going to be my top one. And now I'm going to have a look at how this looks. See if I like it. And I think I make a change. Yeah, this back one, I reverse it because I wanted the yellow to be my back cover. All right, so that's how it's going to look. And now we're going to go ahead and start adhering. First of all, you want to make sure that all of your pieces are lined up. So sometimes, depending on the cardstock that you have or the pattern paper that you have, you might find that one of your pockets might stick out beyond the backdrop. So if that's the case, then just make sure you trim it so that it fits nicely. Now I've added a row of liquid glue to the left, the center seam, and the right-hand side of each pocket, and then I put something heavy on top. So that's why I grabbed that folio that was already created. There's a lot of photos in there, so it's actually quite heavy. And you want to repeat that for all 5 of your pages. Okay, so I've got all 5 done. I'm going to bring them back. Now I'm going to start adhering my pockets. So I'm going to add adhesive. You can see I start about 3/4 of an inch in from the left hand side, so from where the fold is, and then add glue all the way around. You want to not apply glue all the way to the fold because you want there to be flexibility. You want to be able to open the book and for it to sit flat when it's done. So then you attach it to the back of the pocket in front of it. So you'll see here, this is my back page, and I'm going to line it up. So the opening right now is on the left, the fold is on the right, and I'm lining up one layer with the other and then applying pressure. So now it will open up like this, and you can see that I've got 2 pockets on each page. And by not adding adhesive all the way to that fold mark, that gives you that ability to have your book sit flat. All right, so now I'm taking my lace. You can skip this step and just add pattern paper here, but I've got a thicker lace that I'm going to use. And I'm going to use some Fabric Tac glue. So this is good for fabric. And I'm going to add adhesive to, first of all, I need to figure out which is the right side. So I'm going to add adhesive to like in between the little eyelets there. So where the fabric is, but just on what's going to get adhered to the front. Okay, and if you're using pattern paper at this point, you'll want to add just the glue to the part that's going to adhere to the front. You don't want to add any glue to the spine because, again, that's going to allow some flexibility. It's going to allow you to be able to stuff this full, and it will allow you to open your book flat. So I've got that on there. And then I'm going to flip it over. Now you can see on the bottom where the pockets are, it's thicker. So you can see that the lace isn't going to go on straight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply glue, but I'm going to pull the bottom tight or relatively tight. And then I'm going to try to make it straight going all the way across. So I don't want to pull the top straight or tight because then my piece is going to end up being crooked. So it is going to be a little looser at the top because there's not as much bulk. Here I'm just trimming off the excess. And now I'm going to do my, what do you call this? Fabric. So I'm just kind of measuring how thick I want it. I'm going to snip it and then tear. I love the torn edge of fabric. I love the frayed bit. You're not going to see too much of this frayed bit because I'm going to cover it with ribbon anyways, but I'm just going to tidy this up just a little bit and then I'll trim it so it's the right length. All right, so we're going to trim it so it's the right length. I kind of wish there was a little bit more contrast. I wish it was a different color, but it's okay. I add a little bit of a petal pink ribbon in here afterwards to cover the seam of the fabric because it's not straight. So I'm adding some Fabric Tac glue just to the part that's going to get adhered to the front of the book. I'm just using a silicone brush to even it out. And then I'm going to put it on here and try to make sure it's as straight as I can make it. It's not a super straight edge, so it's not going to be perfect. And now I'm going to add a little bit more glue. Again, not to where it's going to go on the spine, but just to where it's going to adhere to the back. And like I said, if you're using DSP, you'll want to do the same thing. So just add adhesive to where it's going to stick to the back cover. So now I'm folding it over. Again, it's tighter where at the bottom where it's a little bit thicker and then a little bit looser as you go towards the top. Okay, so now I don't like that there's not a lot of contrast there. So I grabbed some petal pink ribbon that I had. This is some braided trim. I think this is retired now. But that's what I love about these projects. I love that you can just dig into your stash and use whatever you have. These are perfect projects for using things from your stash. So I'm just going to put that on there. That's going to cover that crooked seam. And it also provides just a little bit of contrast. I love the look of it. All right, and I'm going to put it on the back too. Normally I wouldn't put it on the back, but it was a little crooked and it was kind of bothering me, so I thought I'd put it on the back as well. Plus I have lots of this trim. And then that is basically all you need to do to your book. Now it's the fun part and you get to embellish. So I am using some of the die cut elements from the Hobby Haven DSP to decorate it. Oh, here I'm just doing a little flip through so you can see what it looks like. And you can see by not adding adhesive to where the spine of the book is, you saw that it gives it a little bit of flexibility. So it's you have that flexibility to open it up. So I'm playing around with some little embellishment clusters here. I kind of wanted to go with like a shelf look or some sort of wall decor. I end up going with a couple different things here. I think I used that plant that's standing up. I think I use a book stack and then a coffee cup. but I wanted a shelf to sit on it. I didn't want it to just kind of be floating. So I grabbed some of my Country Woods DSP, and I happened to have a scrap of this wood grain pattern that I added to use as a shelf. So there's that book stack that I'm going to use. And then I think I grabbed that little teacup or coffee cup to put on there. And then I adhere, I didn't like the blue plant. It felt like it didn't match. I do end up switching that out. I adhere the shelf flat, so just with multi-purpose glue, and then everything else is popped up using dimensionals. See, I like that. I may still add a title, I'm not sure. I know what it's going to be used for, and I'm the only one that's going to be using it, so I don't think it's needed. So now I'm just going to work on the other pages and kind of figure out my embellishment cluster. So I'm playing around with a few different things. I'm going to use that label shape, and then there's a little circle with a heart in it that I'm going to use and add a little bit of twine. And I like that. So then I'm going to go ahead and adhere it, and I'm going to tuck some of my page flags inside. I'm not sure where I've gone. Oh, I've gone to get some twine. Okay. And then I'm going to tuck page flags into these pockets. So I'll kind of share as we go along what I've tucked into each pocket. Because like I said at the beginning, that I plan on using this for when I book journal. So to keep track of my stickers and to have everything handy that I use when I book journal. This guy's going to get popped up using some dimensionals. And then we'll add the twine. I end up adding it on the left-hand side instead of the right-hand side. All right, and then here you see me grab my page flags, and I'm just going to tuck those in there. And then we'll flip it over and work on this page. So in this page, I end up using the shelf that comes as the die cut. So there's 3 plants and a stack of books on it. But I felt like it needed something to ground it because this paper is a little bit busier. So I happen to have a die cut circle in my stash. So I just grabbed that and I popped those up, or those the shelf up. And here you can see I've got some stickers. So I'm just going to tuck those in the pockets. And then flip it. And my stickers, most of them are from Planner, Plan It With Stickers. I will post a link to her shop in the description below. If you are a book journaler, you should definitely check out her sticker shop. She's got some great stickers. So here I'm just creating another cluster. And then in this one, I'm going to tuck in some book review Post-its that I have and another vinyl sticker that I haven't used yet. Maybe I'll put it on this year or next year's book journal. I'm not sure. All right, and then flipping over, create our cluster here. And in these pockets, I'm adding these fun things that a friend of mine gave me. They are used to decorate and annotate your book or notebook. And there's 2 different themes. One is more vintage and one is botanical. And there's some little page flags in here where you can kind of add them to your book for different things that are happening. So if there's an introduction to new characters or a plot twist or whatever, you can use the different images to annotate on your book. All right, so here is a quick flip through of the little folio. I love how it turned out. I can't wait to start decorating my 2026 book journal. So I hope this inspired you to pull out some 12 by 12 pattern paper and create one of these. Just think of all the different uses. In this video, I shared one for my book journal and then also one for photos, but there are lots of different ways that you can use them. All right, thanks so much for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up. And if you are not yet a subscriber, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future inspiration. Take care.